Hey y'all, I hope that you all had a great Labor Day weekend. Here in Southern California, there are fires burning all around us, so our air quality has been kind of crappy, and yeah, it's fun to go outside now. So this week I know Steven's still working on getting a build ready for the community to actually use on their own computers and to start playing around with and modding. So I wanted to check in with him on that, and I also wanted to check in with him about multiplayer and how far off that might be. So here's Steven. So Steven, I know you've been working on a release for the CodeSpells community. How's that going? Where are you in development there? When do you think we could expect it?
Yeah, so last week I think I said that it would be not this week but next week. And I think I'm still on track with that. I was able to do a build of the game, which was kind of the thing when you asked me, I didn't know if it was going to work because I'm using a technology called Unreal.js, JavaScript inside of Unreal. And it's not like lots of people use that, and so it's kind of like it's not necessarily well maintained. So I was worried it wouldn't build, but and it actually didn't build at first. But
You found a fix.
I was able to fix it, yes.
Yeah.
So I was able to do the fix, and so now what I wanted to do is basically stress test Unreal.js and do another build to make sure that it still does work. And then it's just a matter of hosting that build somewhere so that people can download it and start using it. There's not going to be a ton of stuff in it, but you can definitely deform the voxel terrain and do some really simple particle effects. But it's a good platform on which to build.
Awesome. That's exciting. Cool. So a lot of members of the community have been asking about multiplayer. Mm-hmm. Everyone's really excited about getting back into PvP tournaments and stuff. So I know multiplayer isn't right around the corner, but what kinds of features are you looking ahead to building that might be on the path to multiplayer?
Well, actually, one of the reasons that I'm rebuilding the game in Unreal instead of in Unity is that the out-of-the-box multiplayer support just works better. So I'm hoping once there's a kind of working single-player build, then try to do some kind of a multiplayer build of it as well. Where to put that on the roadmap, I'm not sure. Maybe that's something that you and I can discuss, and I don't know, I'd be interested to hear feedback from the community. I mean, it's kind of the tension of you could have multiplayer now, but there's just not a lot you can do other than deform the voxel terrain. But maybe that's fun enough. I don't know. I mean, it kind of seems fun to dig and build. People in Minecraft dig and build together.
In Minecraft, for sure. So the plan is to have support for multiplayer modding in the future, right?
Mods that work in multiplayer?
Yes.
Yes, because the way that the whole thing is architected is all of the spells run outside of Unreal. So as long as Unreal syncs up, then your spells affect your Unreal instance, and that should get synced over the network. What I'm not doing is trying to sync the runtime state of your programs over the network. That would be kind of difficult.
Okay.
So
that reminds me of one question someone had in the Discord, which was they noticed kind of a lag between kind of spell casting and the spell happening, and they were curious where exactly the lag right now is coming from.
Yeah, in fact, today I inadvertently increased that lag, and so my video today it'll be even worse, which is bugging me. But your spell lands, and then Unreal tells the runtime environment that the spell landed, and then the runtime environment runs code that then affects 3D worlds, so there's a little bit of lag going one way and then a little bit of lag going the other way. Yeah, today I tried to do something that would clean up the code, but it increased the lag going the other way, so there's kind of a noticeable delay, which, I want to decrease that as much as possible, but there's going to be a point where it's it won't decrease more than that.
Okay, but you're optimistic that you can decrease it from where it is right now?
From where it is right now, yes, but from where it was when that user noticed it, I don't know if it'll get much less than that. I definitely want it to be way under a second. That's too long. I think right now it's at a second.
I think they noticed half a second or something like that.
Yeah, and one thing I haven't tracked down is it seems to kind of, I think it's when you spam things, there's the lag time increases. So that I will try to fix, but that might, I mean, there's always going to be some limit on how much communication can happen between two programs. So.
Yeah. Well, what have you been working on today?
Well, I am actually prepping my blog post for the day, but essentially this week I've been working on how to kind of combine 3D objects together. Anyone who's done some game development knows that, like, in an engine, you can combine assets together in parent-child relationships. So you have maybe a house that's the parent, and you have the rooms in the house are the children, and then the things in the rooms are children of the rooms. And it's nice because then you could take the whole house and move it, and everything moves, or rotate it and everything moves, or everything rotates. It's called the scene graph in just kind of in general game development language. But I want you to be able to sort of add things to the world in a sort of scene graph. So I don't know if, let's see, I'll try to pause it. Yeah, so these little weird apparatuses there, that's a proof of concept where I added one child that's that kind of long fireball, and then it has two children that are those other two long fireball particles, and then the child is rotating, and then its child is also rotating, and so you get this kind of bizarre kind of animation effect. So it lets you make more complicated spell systems and sort of control how they move without having to micromanage how everything moves. Instead, you just set up the tree-like structure of how the things you're spawning into the world relate to each other, and then you can manipulate that.
That sounds really useful.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it looks like the build's really close, and it sounds like multiplayer theoretically isn't too far off. So that's really exciting. Thank y'all all so much for supporting us on Patreon. We really appreciate it. If you have any friends who might be interested in this project, please send it along to them. Every little bit helps. Thanks. Bye.